Have you seen The Last of Us? Are you a fan of the show? Well, if you are, then you're going to want to know all the latest gossip we have for you here, especially about that hat that Neil Druckmann was wearing during that interview. If you want to know everything that we know, then sit back and relax because we're about to get started. First, let's talk about Neil Druckmann's hat. Sometimes we have to appreciate the enthusiasm and passion that gamers have. Earlier this month, Naughty Dog ended up publishing a pretty neat conversation between Naughty Dog co-president Neil Druckmann and movie star Tom Holland. Yes, Spider-Man. Well, the clip was released to promote the upcoming Uncharted movie, and it's a nice, lighthearted piece. It has some smiles and laughs. Perfect. But the thing that really grabbed fans' attention was Druckmann's hat. What was so special about this hat of his? He was wearing a baseball cap that had The Last of Us logo on it, but fans were unsure whether it said Part 1 or Part 2 beneath it. What are we thinking? We're thinking it said Part 2, but it's just vague enough that many people needed to start up a discussion about it. Naughty Dog is obviously rumored to be working on a remake of the original The Last of Us game to coincide with the new TV show. If you also go to Twitter and look at Druckmann's bio, you can see that he lists The Last of Us Part 1 and 2 as projects he's worked on. However, we don't really know how else he would rephrase that. It's interesting because this isn't the first PlayStation exclusive to potentially get a subtle logo and name change. This has happened before, but we need to think if this is really a clue for fans to pick up in that interview. What do you think about the hat? Do you think this is a subtle piece of advertisement? Is it tease? Tell us your thoughts. Next, The Last of Us cast, Storm Reed. We've got another person being added to The Last of Us television show. However, we don't really know how she's going to be incorporated into the broader plot just yet. If you've seen Euphoria, then you'll recognize Storm Reed, and she's the lucky lady to be casted into The Last of Us. If you don't know yet, The Last of Us is based on Naughty Dog's original game, The Last of Us, which takes place 20 years after civilization has been destroyed by a plague that turned everyone into zombies. The series, like the game, will be focused on Joel and Ellie as they try to make their way through the quarantine zone set up by a group of survivors known as the Fireflies. Neil Druckmann has said that his working on the HBO series is done, but there seems to be more to shoot with this recent casting. Deadline has also come out and said that Storm Reed will be a special guest star in the show and play the role of Riley Abel. Riley is well known to fans of the game and who played the Left Behind DLC. In that add-on content, Riley was a friend of Ellie, and the two ended up traveling together through the wasteland that was the northwestern part of the US after the world collapsed. Their story took place before Ellie met Joel. Reed was so excited that she went to Twitter and tweeted, "I got some news. Beyond excited to join the cast of #The Last of Us as Riley on @HBO. Let's get to work. 2022 looks bright already." Reed has been in a few different shows and movies over the past couple of years, like Euphoria, When They See Us, and The Bravest Night. Her first huge part was in Ava DuVernay's A Wrinkle in Time. We don't know if the addition of Riley to the story means that Reed is going to be showing up in flashbacks when Ellie and Joel are traveling together, or whether the story in the series has been changed a bit. I wouldn't mind either, to be honest, because I think that would both be good ideas. Keep watching, because we have even more news about The Last of Us. Next up, The Last of Us TV show could impact The Last of Us Part 3. We're sure that when Naughty Dog released The Last of Us, it didn't expect that it would do so well, which ended up with it gaining a sequel. Also, the game has an HBO series coming out as well. The show will have Pedro Pascal as Joel and Bella Ramsey as Ellie in the show, with a lot of other great actors playing various characters the pair will interact with. Naughty Dog had a really amazing narrative and world in The Last of Us, which translated to roughly 20 hours of content, excluding the Left Behind DLC. The television series is supposed to have 10 episodes in total. Considering that HBO is not trying to make a standalone miniseries like Chernobyl, this could mean that the first season of The Last of Us might not cover everything that's happened in the first game. This is especially true because Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann are looking to expand the story itself. In turn, this could lead to the series slowly but steadily moving away from the games and the original story. Also, it would mean that it would take a long time before it gets on track with the events of The Last of Us Part 2, if it does at all. Okay, with all of this in mind, fans of The Last of Us games shouldn't expect the series to be a new story. They should look at it as the same story being told in a different way. The show is going to be expanding on the lore, the narrative, and the world building of a successful franchise is not easy at all, which means that HBO is going to need to change a few things along the way. Do we think they can do this? Most definitely. HBO has created some amazing pieces of work over the years, and this could also be an amazing part of the franchise. Joel might be less emotionally stunted, which could allow for the series to dive deeper into the bond that's going to form with Ellie. Also, the series could do the complete opposite, and the protagonist's relationship may become a slow burner instead. Apart from the speculations of the series itself, Neil Druckmann is on board with the HBO project and also had the plot for The Last of Us 3 outlined, which means that it isn't impossible that the show might have an impact on the upcoming plot. This isn't new. I mean, George R.R. Martin hasn't even released the 6th book after Game of Thrones finished its last episode 2 years ago. Actually, it's really common that adaptations from any media to television can be very different from the original source materials, and this can actually influence the future work from the original creators. If the show ends up straying from the first game, then it isn't too crazy to think that the story will take a different turn. This could mean that Joel never meets his death at the hands of Abby, or it could mean that he dies somewhere else. The possibilities are endless, and it's all speculation at this point, but it does also mean that Druckmann could change the plot of The Last of Us 3 based on how the series plays out. What do you think about The Last of Us 3 being changed because of the series? What do you think is going to happen in the series? Lastly, Nick Offerman will be in the show. HBO has confirmed that Nick Offerman has been cast as Bill in the TV series. Offerman joins cast members Pedro Pascal, Bella Ramsey, Gabrielle Luna, and Murray Bartlett. Previously, Con O'Neill had been casted as Bill, but according to Variety, he dropped out due to scheduling conflicts. In the series, Offerman will now be playing Bill, who is a master survivalist who lives in an isolated town with his partner Frank. How romantic. In the video game, Bill is voiced by Deadwood actor W. Earl Brown. He's shown to be a paranoid and antisocial loner who is still a master survivalist, even if he has some pretty odd tendencies. We still don't know all the logistics of how Offerman is going to be in the series, but he's currently casted as a guest role. The series is still being filmed in Calgary, Alberta, Canada since July 2021, but it's scheduled to finish in June 2022. Offerman is best known for his role as the grumpy libertarian Ron Swanson on the NBC sitcom Parks and Recreation. He's mostly known for his comedic roles, but he's been branching out to more dramatic and series roles in movies and TV. Either way, we wish him the best of luck in his new role, and we're excited to see how he gets on. Well, that's everything about The Last of Us TV series. What do you think's going to happen? Do you think it'll end up creating its own storyline away from the game for a bit? Are you excited? Have you played the game? Let us know down below.